So my biggest piece of advice, focus on the things that matter, the composition, the movements, the overarching feel of doing property videos, and then start adding in things like shooting in manual mode, log color profile, color grading, all that sort of stuff. Just take it one step at a time. If you need to start with your phone for property videos, start with your phone, and then once you master the movements, then you can move on to a little bit more advanced stuff. If you're trying to get into doing property videos really well for your real estate photography business, there's a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. There are the more complex ways of doing things, shooting in S-Log3, which is a flat color profile, retains more dynamic range, so you can see some more of what's outside when you're filming inside, blowing out windows, all that sort of stuff. But there's a lot that you need to keep in mind while doing property videos in general. So that's exposure. Is your video itself bright enough, not too bright, not too dark, no shadows, no nasty noise, it's perfectly exposed? Are your movements correct? So the movements that you're doing, are you doing nice, slow, methodical movements that are really smooth? Are you doing it long enough? Are you seeing too much shake? Are you doing cool orbits? Are you just doing pushes and pulls? Are you walking throughout the whole house while worrying about exposure? There's compounding effects, so it's not like, oh, I need to worry about this, and then now that's good, and now I need to worry about that. Like for every single clip, there's something different that you have to worry about. So like you go into a bedroom and the exposure changes, so you need to double check and make sure that, like when you're shooting it on a Sony in S-Log3, usually you're going to be overexposed about 1.5 to 1.7 stops to get the cleanest image right out of the camera after you slap a LUT on there, and then you do a little bit of color grading after it's in a Rec 709 format. But what you need to understand is when you're getting into property videos, and I have Property Video 101, which is a fantastic online course, little self-plug here, you don't have to buy it, but it's great if you do because it can teach you everything you need to know about doing really good property videos and how to sell them. But when you're just getting into property videos, you might be tempted to be like, oh, I have to shoot in S-Log3, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like you can just slap it in auto mode. It's not ideal, this is not ideal, but when you're learning, you can just slap it in auto mode and then just focus on your movements. By and large, the most important part about photography and videography in general is that what you're shooting, what you're taking pictures of, what you're taking video of looks nice. Okay, so the exposure, yes, it's super important to get really down pat and understand exactly what you're doing. But more important than anything else is that what you're filming is composed nicely. Is that it looks nice, it's balanced, you're not filming the walls, you're filming just into the room. I talk about this a lot in Property Video 101 of like going over how to do good shots. Is like the formula that I use again and again is wide and then detail, wide, detail, wide, detail. So I have a 12mm lens on my Sony, and then I slap a 50mm on my Sony. So I'm doing all the entire house wide at 12mm, and then I go back again and I do 50mm, and I just go behind walls and then reveal out. That's all I do in the property videos, and it makes them look really good because there's variation, but there's so much that you have to worry about. Whereas you could literally just buy 16 to 35, go into a room, film at 16, just go in the corner, push in gently, and then zoom into 35mm, and then do a reveal, and then zoom in post so that you have everything that you need. Like this could be as complicated as you make it or as simple as you make it. But when you're just getting started, give yourself the best possible chance for success. And sometimes that looks like not worrying about the more advanced things and just focusing on the basics. There's a reason why in Property Video 101 and the recommendations that I give people is like you can start doing property videos with your phone. There's no flat color profile unless you have an iPhone, then yeah, sure, you can shoot an Apple log if you want to. Not worthwhile to do, in my opinion, but it takes care of the exposure, it takes care of the color, so all you have to do is do the movements. So once you get really good at just going into the corner and shooting wide like you would take a photo at, and just go to where you take a photo, introduce movement, and then there's your clip. And then you go in and you just tap the 3x or the 5x lens, and then you zoom in for some detail shots. Once you get really comfortable with the broad spectrum of here's how you do a property video, then you can start worrying about the increase in quality. Like, okay, now I'm going to use my A7S III. Okay, now I have to shoot an S-Log3 for the best dynamic range, but now I got to worry about exposure. Okay, plus 1.7. Oh, is there a window in the frame? Then it's got to be over plus 1.7, so I'm going to face away from the window, expose it plus 1.7, then turn towards the window, and then do my clip, and all this sort of stuff. So it just gets more and more complex. Don't let yourself get scared by the complexity. Just do the really, really basic thing first. The movements, the composition. What does it look like when you're filming? What does the shot look like? What are the movements that you're doing? Are you doing a standard push forward? Are you pulling back? Are you doing a slight little orbit? Are you, angling down, or like coming straight down or going straight up? There's all kinds of different things. So worry about the meat and potatoes before you start adding the seasoning, because if you don't have the foundations right, your movements are shaky, your composition is not that great, the plot of the property video doesn't make sense, like the flow, the outlines. You start in the kitchen when you should be starting outside with the drone stuff, and then going into the house, and it's a tour, so treat it like a tour. If you start to focus on all the nerdy camera, photographer, videographer things first, it's not gonna go over well. I don't know, I mean, probably a lot of you are old enough to remember like point and shoot, just, the disposable cameras that you can, I think you could probably still buy them, but then you'd go to Costco or CVS or Walgreens or whatever, and you'd just get them developed, and then you'd have pictures. There wasn't so much exposure stuff that you could do with the pictures. It was just point and shoot. And that's like, it was a really, really popular thing because people didn't have to learn all this extra added stuff. They could just focus on getting a really nice picture first. And then in my case, I got really into cameras after the fact. And then I learned about shutter speed and aperture and ISO and the exposure triangle and what all that means, and then shooting in a flat color profile. Then I started doing, like video, and then shooting in the flat color profile, all that stuff. It can get so complex, but it's so important to remember that all the complexities aren't 100% necessary. Like, you could just shoot an S-Cinetone on a Sony and be fine. You could shoot in a normal color profile and be fine. You don't have to shoot in a log profile every single time and then color grade every single shot. We're churning and burning these things. Like, yes, you want it to look as nice as possible, and if you can get used to having a really good, speedy workflow, doing all that stuff, more power to you. That's what I do, and it looks really, really nice, but it's not 100% strictly necessary. So my biggest piece of advice, focus on the things that matter, the composition, the movements, the overarching feel of doing property videos, and then start adding in things like shooting in manual mode, log color profile, color grading, all that sort of stuff. Just take it one step at a time. If you need to start with your phone for property videos, start with your phone, and then once you master the movements, then you can move on to a little bit more advanced stuff. So again, I've got Property Video 101 down in the description below. I've got the Introduction to Real Estate Photography online course that's now available as well, so check that out as well. I'll throw in a $100 coupon code for you to use if you want to. Coaching program is very close to being completely relaunched and revamped. I'll have a lot more information about that coming soon. I've been kind of in the trenches filming a ton of stuff. Like the revamped coaching program, for instance, there's tier 1 is self-guided coaching videos, and there's like over 650 plus videos in there that are just the popular questions that I've been asked again and again and again, and other questions I thought would be useful to have in there. So you can go on the dashboard, the resource hub is what it's called. You can type in any question and it'll match you up with the video that has the answer to that question. It's going to be really, really cool. That's going to be a whole lot lower. Like, that's going to be a very down-to-earth, reasonable price for that service, and then there's still the coaching program itself, which you'll get access to the resource hub and all that sort of stuff, but then also the one-on-one calls. So that is coming. If you are interested in coaching, it is still going on. Give me a little bit to like revamp the application process and the scheduling process. I think one of my things broke, so if you've been trying to get a hold of me for the coaching applications, I haven't seen them, so I need to fix that as well. I've just been so preoccupied with everything else that I've had going on. So that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.